Yo, what is going on, sweats? So we are back again with another video. I got a comment on my last video talking about how the long explanations and just looking at, geez, I'm gonna seizure looking at this thing to go up higher. The long explanation, just the talking, it's a little hard to learn and all that. So we're gonna go for a new concept here. I might try to throw in some like text or images or something like that on the screen just so it's a little bit easier to follow. And I'm going to break everything down more cleaner and more organized, so it's a lot better for you guys to learn and for me to teach, basically. So first off, a little common YouTube spiel. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you enjoy my content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't like my video, if you don't like my content, you can dislike every video, but just please tell me what you don't like about it and what I could improve on. So I'm just trying to find my style and find what I'm liking to do on YouTube. So we're gonna be talking about tunneling and tarping. I've been doing a lot of like building and editing and practice and stuff. I have a few more. Next is piece control. After that is a practice routine that everyone, or like finding your own practice routine, and then we'll do a warm-up routine, and then we'll actually get into the in-game stuff. I'm hoping to time the in-game stuff with the new season, just because it's gonna be a little bit weird to do POI analysis on like POIs that might not even exist. Anyway, so let's start with the first thing about tunneling. We're just going to be going about it's about movement and try not to do large movements. So tunneling is basically, the concept of it is if you're in end game, you can do it at any point in the game, but usually the idea is that you make a tunnel, however, whichever one you do. So this would be a tunnel. And you want to, when people are shooting at you from the left or the right, you just want to have yourself protected. So if the zone pulls, like, let's say the zone pulls like right here, a little far, but you do a tunnel. Focus on going slow and get the movement down before you start, going fucking crazy like that. Just focus slow. This is probably the most basic tunnel, or one of the most known tunnels. It's called the Mongraal tunnel. And I don't know if he was the first one to implement it, but there's a clip of him going fucking psycho on his keyboard of cranking this out. How I like to do it is I do the bottom floor, the top floor. I go out, I do the left wall, and then I swing to the right wall, and then I come back to the middle. You can do it any way you want. You might prefer to go place, place, place. You want to make sure you always come back to the center. If you notice, this is kind of head height here. This is about crosshair placement and movement. So you want to go like this, edit through. The Mongraal thing, because he's like, does it fast? Notice I'm always coming back to the centerpiece. Because, like, let's say I'm tunneling and I get a call from a teammate, left side, I have him boxed. I can swing around, keep it headlight, and help him out in the box. Do whatever. This is the Mongraal tunnel. The best way to practice this, if you don't know, is to practice the movement, obviously. Get the wall up top. That's how I do it. If you go down here, over here, I think, you can set different movements. You have no jump fatigue, normal, half speed. Do half speed or 1.3. 1.3 if you want to practice, going as fast as possible, and half speed if you just want to get the movement down. That's the first tunnel. Every tunnel has its own time when to use. The good thing about the Mongraal tunnel is that when you're cranking it like this, it protects your front as well. So let's say this would be good if you're not in front of zone. So if zone was pulling, let's say, think of this, zone's pulling to this metal right over here, and everyone else, majority of the people are already at right here, and I'm running in like this. You don't want to do an open tunnel like this where you don't block this off, because these guys are going to shoot back at you. That's why you want to instead wall off the front of it so you can get there without taking damage from any side, because you're fully boxed up. The downside is that each box costs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, costs 5 builds to place. In solos, this is a lot of builds, because remember, you only have 1,500 builds total, but in trios, you have, 1,500, you have 4,500 total. Wow, it's quick maths. So you have more mats to spend, more chances to refresh, but in solos, the type of tunneling is definitely a lot more riskier, because you can run out of mats sooner. So the next type of tunnel is basically the same thing, except for you don't edit through. This is best if you're in front of zone, because there's no one to shoot at you from the front of zone, because you're in the front. So you would want to go like this. How I like to do it is bottom, top, left, right. So you're not turbo building, because if you try to turbo build, you're gonna either block yourself off or place one in front like this. You're clicking. So one click, one click, one click, one click. 4 clicks. Almost at 3. Get the movement down, and then you can, start going quick. That's the next tunnel. The only thing to be mindful of this is that often players will want to hop in your tarp, because if you think, if I have a scar right now and you're tunneling down here, I have a full beam on you. So while you're doing this, you're going to want to look back and either place a stair, or look back and place a wall, or look down and place a stair like this. This way, if somebody is chopping through, you can at least have enough time, like this would be fully built. You at least have enough time to maybe hear the pickaxe swinging, so you can react by waiting for them to come, then shoot at them, because you own all of this. So you can, if he's right here, you can run out the side, shoot like this, or whatever. And that is the 2 most basic tunnels. I'm gonna have like a PowerPoint transition, I think, right now, if I can figure out how to fucking do that. And then we'll talk about the next type of tunnel. So let me end the clip, and then I will be back. Alrighty, what is up, everybody? We're going to do a similar tunnel to the last one we just talked about. This one is if the zone pulls instead of straight, like one of the 4 directions, and instead pulls like over here. So you don't want to, tunnel like this and get to it just to turn right and go straight like that, because then you're using a lot more mats. So what you want to do, because you want to be at the front side of zone, is always the best, because if you get to the front, like if I'm all the way over here and there's people rotating in over here, I can shoot back at them, because they still have to come to me to get into zone. So to do a diagonal tunnel, how I like to do it is I start with the floor again, I do the walls, floor, walls. This is the movement. I do the back wall first, and then I curl inwards. Other people might go like this. I don't even know if I can do it starting the other way. Ooh. But if you're noticing, I'm trying to keep my head or my crosshair at head level constantly. I'm always bringing it back to the middle, just because you need to practice good crosshair placement. The idea is that to make sure you don't wall yourself off here, you want to place like this, and don't place the walls until you're like almost about to cross the line into the next tiles. Because what might happen is you might do these and then wall yourself off. That might, especially in a laggy lobby, that might cost you your life. That's why you want to wait until you're just about over. See, I did it too soon, or too late, sorry. I lost my fucking grip here. This is a good tunnel. Downside again is that you're crossing a lot of mats. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's forward right here. Then to go left, I'm doing another 4. So it's 8 for each one of these. Trios, not that bad because you have more mats, and it's good because you own more part of the layer. Like this would all be mine. So my trio members have tons of angles to look for a refresh. They can look up, drop someone down. They can look over here, like if there's someone else tarping over here, they could be like, oh, I'm going for a pick, going for a box, whatever, shoot. Or they can even look down. So they can be like, all right, my trio members, Lucid and Venos. All right, Venos, I'm editing the floor. Don't jump in here. And you would go like this and shoot down or whatever. This gives a lot of options to control the layer, especially endgame, because layers are small. Like how many people are in one layer is like very, very small amount of teams. And you want to, push people off your layer, because a safe layer is basically free placement. So the next type of tunnel is different from, the wall and the floor. This is if you want to conserve mats. Just recently, oops, sorry, not recently, but like it just like recently came out. Anyway, I'll probably throw up, let me like put like a transition like right now. Okay, hopefully I can edit that in and figure out how to do it. But this is like the stair tunnel. Basically what it means is you start here, you place a wall on the side, and then you look at the wall and place a stair. So it won't be like this. So how I like to do it is I turn and I place like this. So I'm looking down in the corner. Yes. You want to make sure the stair gets placed before you cross into the next box. Because if you wait and place it here, if anyone's above you, they have a free shot on you for like almost half the box. You want to get that thing down as soon as possible so it can start building. You know, some pros and cons of this. Easy Pro. Okay, can I edit? Thank you. Easy Pro. It only costs 3 builds, and it protects your whatever side you're staring off, and it protects your roof. Downside is, you know, you can spray through it when it's building, because metal, remember, brick takes longer to fully build, so does metal. Wood is the quickest, but the weakest. So it takes longer to build, so when you're doing this, they only have to spray through 1 layer, no matter what side they're on, down, above. So you have to be more cautious of where you are and who's looking at you, but you also can look up at height easier, which is a good thing. So if you're second or third height, you can look up at the person above you on height and be like, okay, let's wait. Oh, they're fighting, you know, start cranking up. If you have the RPG, shoot RPGs, go for a snipe, whatever. You can also, you know, don't worry, you can place the stair up front like that. Sometimes I accidentally place the wall, just make sure you edit through it quick. Right there, I did it. Here's it, like, quick. Now, another thing is you don't have to go fast, you know, depending on the zone. If you're in the front of zone, there's no reason to go fast. You can just, you know, slowly do it like this. If zone's like right here and every time it moves forward, you want to do one, they go like this. Just be careful of anyone in your tunnel. Make sure you wall it off. If it's just you, maybe use like this type of material to wall off. But if you have trio members or squads or duos, they can wall it off. So the next tunnel, let's have like a little transition here or something, right? Like now. Alright, so the next tunnel is with stairs as well. This one's a lot riskier, and I don't use this for more than like 3 to 5 tiles, just because you can get shot by multiple angles. I usually use it just when I want to save some mats. So let's say I'm rotating, it's just me. It's kind of bad for trios because it's hard to like maneuver it safely for your team. And once you do it, like everyone knows, like, okay, if you have teammates, they're going to be coming this way, and it's basically a first shot. But what you do is you place a stair behind you like this. You build in hard mats, and you just run and you just look down and place stairs. I'll run back after a second. But as you see, I'm just placing floor down, and then I'm waiting until I'm here and looking down halfway and placing the stair. You notice the little movement I do to look down. Let's run back and look at this. As you can see from... Fuck. Oh, that's gonna break everything. Let me just start it over again, I guess. Do it again. So if we can see, if I'm above over here, I'm shooting at this guy. Especially if I'm behind him, you know, he's pretty much safe. So this is kind of good if you're in the front of zone. But if anybody is in front of you anywhere, it's kind of like really fucked. Because they can see you for, you know, almost 2 full tiles when you're running. Even if they're like just over here, like you're running through your, let's say, you know, you're running through, you're doing this, and your teammates are behind you. I can recognize that, because if you're doing this tunnel, where else are your teammates going to come? And you can just shoot at the teammates while they run through. I usually would only do this if, you know, let's say zone is, let me mark it off again. Zone is this brick over here. And I'm, you know, trying to get to there, and I'm, just say I'm over here. I'm at the front of zone right now, and I want to get there, but you know, I'm 400 wood, 100 brick, and 200 metal. So I don't have a lot of hard mats, and I'm going to need a refresh soon. So I might go to my, you know, brick. I might be like, all right, let's get there. This way I save a bit of mats, and then I box up immediately. And then I decide, you know, wait for next zone, look for a pick, whatever. I think I have all, you know, tunnel. Oh, the next type of tunnel, you know, type of transition. Fire. Okay, let's go to the next tunnel. The next tunnel is if you're on the very edge of zone. So let's say this wood here is the middle of zone. This is like one layer here, and then the metal all the way out here is the outer layer of zone. So basically, on the other side of this metal down here, we have the storm. The storm's right here, and it's going this way. And this is the other layer here. If you're on this layer, and the storm is right here, there's no one to the right of you. There shouldn't be anybody over there. and nobody's going to be doing a flopper play to the right or left of you. They're going to be doing it behind you, back here, the back side of zone. So all you need to do is you can either A, just use a stair, like this. Again, a little bit risky, because if they're above you or the side of you, they only have to shoot through one layer to hit you. Or you can just go like this. Like, notice you can save the wall, save the material on the right side, because no one's going to be over there to shoot you. All you have to do is be careful, because the zone moves in. You know, somebody down low might come up and be like, well, this is a free beam. So, you know, maybe randomly you do a full one and close it off and then continue. Replace the stair behind you like that. You can also do it on the other side. So, you know, storm's right here. There's no reason for me to put a wall here, because it's just going to be a waste completely. So I can either go like this, that, or I can just go look down and just place it like this. You know, and let me decide, all right, let's wall off right now. Maybe I'll just do one like this, and then I box. Now I'm in zone. So that's just to conserve mats. Really, all these different tunneling, you know, it's good to know how to do them, but you have to know when to do them. And the best thing to know that is just by practicing and playing end games, and, you know, watching, you know, people who tunnel. So Colazo, basically that entire trio are great. Mr. Savage, you know, seeing like, why do they use that tunnel there? Like, why do they do this? Why do they do that? Why do they switch material? Okay, so now we're going to talk about, we have a few more, and then we're going to talk about some general tips and then a really important tip. So let me prepare the next tip, and now actually I just can jump down. Fire. So let's say you're on low ground. Let's say, you know, right here, this is the grass. You're rotating on low ground. You're on ultimate low. Ultimate low is when your feet are on the ground like this. You are literally on the bottom. When you're tunneling like this, usually you're going to end up having to go up. So, you know, let's say you want to make sure you always block off your sides and try your best to let stuff build before you're moving it. Because low ground is a fucking clusterfuck. There's tons of people rotated, doing a bunch of crazy shit. And they're like, all of them are shambles, and they're trying to get into a tarp, into a tunnel to get a refresh. So make sure you let the shit build if you can. If not, that's fine. And you want to, you know, block yourselves off. And it's good to look back for picks. So you can run back here, like if Storm's right here, you can look back here, shoot some people, do whatever. But let's say, you know, Storm goes up a mountain. How am I going to get up? Well, it's simple. You go like this. So you can see I'm blocking myself up top with the two stairs, and I'm blocking my sides with the wall. I do like doing the stair first. I'm not the best at this type of tunnel. I need to practice it more so I can do it quickly. But, you know, that's the whole point of this theory, just you teach and learn at the same time. So I imagine stair, stair, wall, 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 wall like this, and you just go up. Make sure you put the stair up top, because if you're going up like this, the team that's going to focus you is going to be the height team, because they're going to already be on height. They're going to be like up here, and they're going to see you going up and see like, okay, this guy might go for a height play. He's trying to get to the front side of zone so he can look back and beam me. You know, let's focus that team a bit. This kind of leads us into pre-tarping. So pre-tarping is when zone pulls. So let's say, again, zone pulls over here. This is zone. Like zone. And you're like all the way back here, you're in your box, you know, you get zone. And you have to rotate that way. Now, what usually ends up happening is that if you start rotating early like this, people will recognize that your walls are weak and they'll start spraying through it. So that's why you would build like this. You wouldn't even need to have this wall. Build like this and then wait for it to build. See, I always go, let it build, let it build. This way, you can already have like a little bit of a pre-tarp ready to head to the next zone, and it's already fully built, and that will deter people from A, breaking in, or B, you know, beaming you or trying to shoot through you or whatnot. So a pre-tarp is good when you know where zone is going to pull, and you can prepare yourself. You can also be prepared. Let's say zone is like over here or like up there, and it goes up. Well, okay, let me just pre-tarp this, you know. There's a pre-tarp, and then I run back down. I run back down here. And I wait for it to build. And then once it's built, I go back up, I bring my team with me, or I just lead myself. So now let's talk about just some general tips. First off, when you're tunneling, you always want to use brick or metal, hard mats. That's the most important. The point of tunneling is to not take damage end game. That's the main important thing to do. You don't want to take any damage. You don't want to waste any shield. You don't want, to die. You want to stay protected while you're moving to the next zone. That's the whole point of tunneling, tarping, whatever. So that's why you want to stay protected, build in hard materials, even though they do take longer to build. But once they built, people won't focus you. They won't aim at you because you have an entire tarp built, and they won't shoot at you because your shit's building. So let it build, run back here, do whatever, wait for it to build, and then go. How I like to do it, I like using brick first, and then metal, and then wood. When you just get to wood, you need a refresh. Okay, wood is scary. Second tip, this is to pay attention to what builds are yours. If I'm leading the tunnel here with my team, let's say I'm just doing like a tunnel like this, and I notice that there's a team over here on my layer. They're also tunneling like this, and they're ahead of me. They're one ahead of me. What a good tarper or tunneler would do is that they would recognize that my team's over here, and they would try to cut me off like this. That way, now I'm forced. If I build this brick here, they can go for a box my team in, and then have, because we'd all be free refreshes. Or they can just, I'd run into this and be like, fuck, we don't own any of this, and they go for, an edit and kill me or whatever. So that's why it's good to recognize where people are. You can see them through the cracks of the walls. You can see them, sounds fucking sketchy. You can see them through the cracks of the walls and see where they're rotating. Alright, this guy's on my layer, so you might make the call out, spray these guys off our layer, fuck with them, force them down, force them up, force them somewhere else, so they're not like, have chances to cut you off. So this was me, and I realized this. I would run to the right. Let me just build a brick. I'd run to the right. I'd either go like this, and then keep going, and maybe even loop back like this and see if I can catch them off now. That's why it's good to pay attention to who's tunneling around you, who's below you, who's above you. And then now let's say we're on the backside of zone where we don't have a lot of mats, and we're tunneling like this. As I'm going along, my teammate makes a call out, on me. So I turn back, and while I turn back and run it back, a team below me takes this floor. Remember, I was just building hard brick. So I run back, I'm looking, and I go, wait a second, I don't own this floor. So I might do the call out, we don't own the floor, break the floor. But, breaking the floor is sketchy because this team's waiting for you to step on it so they can edit you down and kill you. Like, they have like their own box here. They're literally just waiting for you to come over this. So I might just go, come right. Make sure you calm everything. Remember, I still own this, so I just calm to my teammates. Come right, and we go. Good to watch, what people like to do is they might even take it in the same builds, They may take both of these are them, and I'm going, and I'm looking. You have to make sure you're looking at all the builds. Make sure you own everything, especially when you're in the front, because that's your job is to make sure you own everything. And then the person in the middle has to make sure they own everything for the person behind them, and so forth. And then the person in the back just has to fucking haul ass and not get caught, really. So that's why you gotta pay attention to what you own. Okay, I own all this, I'm tunneling, and then I'm like, I go, I don't have a lot of mats. I don't have enough mats to crank to the left and keep tunneling like this. And I'm right here, and I go, oh, they're on the roof. You can either cone it like this, or if they have a cone, what you can do, this is, again, kind of risky, it's just stare it off like this, switch tunnels. Go from this to, oh, they own it, like this. Just so, because this then protects your head. You at least have one layer in between the double edit, wherever it is, where is it at? You at least have one layer in between the double edit that they have. Again, still sketchy, because if this is building, this guy can still, make the edit, shoot through it, and then fuck up your teammates who are then trapped behind you while you're going ahead. And obviously they would just go like this, and try to hop back in the main tunnel and go. Now, let's just give one final example of tarping, tunneling, not endgame. So let's say, we build a little metal fortress up here. Let's say this is an enemy up here in the middle, and I'm over here fishing over here in brick. I get cracked. I notice this is a full trio. They're gonna push me. So what do? I start tunneling away. I'm trying to run back to my team who are, let's say they're over here. I'm trying to get back to my team as quickly as possible. For the love of God, don't build in fucking wood. Okay? Takes them like 2 shots to break through this, especially if they know your team. Then they're just gonna submachine gun through it in like a second. So please, if you're running away, Build in hard mats, you know, go up, have to go up a bit, might run like this. Just build as much as you can. Overbuild, 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 overbuild when you're running. Because you're trying to survive. Never die with materials, always build. Anyway, hopefully this is, you know, a lot shorter, a lot easier to watch, learn, entertaining, all that fun stuff. Let me know how you guys think. I'll try to throw in the transitions like the best place off possible, and then I'll have the timestamps for each one. Maybe I'll throw up like some bubbles or some shit. I don't know. I'm not really the best at editing or whatever. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Cheers.